You do have options as a man in your 40s to feel better. Today, we sit down with Jeremiah and his wife, Amy, to find out exactly what those options are and what that journey looks like. Well, welcome, Amy and Jeremiah. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Friday. It's a good day. It's before the weekend, right? And it's supposed to be gorgeous out and 86 degrees or something next week, which is ridiculous. It is October, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys just got back from a trip too, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
Where'd
went
you
to
go?
Kansas City for a couple days.
Fun. Family trip or just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Just us.
Nice little romantic getaway.
Yeah.
Good. Anything fun while you went shopping?
We have a favorite spot that we like to go to in Weston.
I like Weston.
Yeah. We always have to stop at the pottery store. We have to go to the underground Irish pub. So
Fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
We went twice in one weekend.
You went twice in one weekend.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, tell me a little bit about yourselves. How long have you been married? Family, kids? You want to start, Jeremiah?
25 years.
Married for 25 years.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So we got married young. Got a couple kids. And
Grown?
grown, 22 and 19. So,
Very grown.
yeah.
Okay. Starting families of their own?
Yeah, they're getting their daughters engaged. And
Congratulations.
thank you. And then our son, he's focused on work and, putting everything together for himself.
That's good. That's what he should be focused on.
Yeah.
He's 19 or 22?
22.
He's 22. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know that women mature faster, but,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate, if you could tell between your two. So, great. How'd you guys meet?
We both worked at Pizza Hut in Western Kansas.
Kidding.
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had actually moved there. I graduated from Estes Park High School. My dad had moved there to marry his high school sweetheart. So they had both been through some difficult marriages and had split from those. And 20 years later, they were each other's first girlfriend, first boyfriend, first kiss, and they were remarried. So that is how I ended up in a small town in Kansas and met this boy at Pizza Hut.
Met this boy at Pizza Hut.
Yep.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
That's congratulations. That's a feat in itself. 25 years.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that paper, silver, something like that?
Well,
One of the anniversaries. It's trips. It's vacations in your case.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I was probably supposed to buy her something, but I'm sure I missed out.
If you remembered the anniversary, that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Well, have you always been, I'm going to jump right in now. Have you always been in his corner with health, or are you the one in the household that kind of has to nag and get everybody in line, or?
And I'm always in their corner when it comes to health, but I push them to make their own decisions. I've never nagged them. I just would say, I want you to be healthy. So if this decision is something that makes you healthy and you feel better, and I always wanted, and that's not just with Jeremiah, it's with the kids.
Right.
Do the things, but I'm going to teach you how to do these things or help you along that way, but I'm not going to make you do these things.
Right. What is the saying? Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. If you just provide him a fish, he'll have one meal. Mm-hmm. So you're showing them how to take care of themselves so that they can do it for themselves. Mm-hmm. So take me back. It was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, when was it when you started noticing that you might have something going on?
Well, it was probably about 6 years ago, and I'm at work. I work a lot of nights, and I'm on call, and a lot of my coworkers were going in and getting testosterone therapy because we're all just exhausted all the time.
Right.
And just watching them over a couple year period, get back in the gym, get in good shape. They have more energy, and I wanted to do that too, but I was still skeptical because it's a big decision to get on something like testosterone therapy. And I finally worked with enough of my coworkers that I saw, the the positives in it that I told Amy. I said, I want to go into the clinic and get tested and see where I'm at, see what my options are. And
well, take me through that. You decided to go into the clinic and get tested.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was all right. I mean, it was all brand new, because over the course of the 3 years where I was deciding whether I wanted to do it or not, I'm going to my primary doctor. My primary doctor is saying, well, your levels are within acceptable range, so you're fine. You don't need anything. You're just in your 40s, and so men in their 40s have low testosterone. And I wasn't even on the lowest side, like, some of the guys that come into the clinic.
Right.
But, they just basically told me this is what happens when you get old.
And to just suck it up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really? They didn't say, well, you're still not feeling well, so let's try something else. It was, well, I mean, you're in the normal range. You may not feel well, but. Yeah,
they were saying, try to eat more whole grains and, the normal. Normal spiel, but
get sleep, have a routine, exercise.
And that was the other thing. You need to be in bed by 8 o'clock every night, and you need to eat your meals at the same time every day, which if you're a person that's on call, it's impossible.
Right.
There's a lot of times I'm going to work at 2 or 3 in the morning, so it's just not going to happen. So, but yeah, I went ahead and went into one of the clinics and got tested, and they started me on therapy right away, and within about, I would say, 6 weeks to a month or 2 months, is when I really started feeling a difference and more energy, and I haven't looked back since. So,
was that the biggest difference that you felt? Was the more energy? Was that the most immediate, glaring fix?
Yeah, it was more energy and sleeping better at night. More patience, and just when you're not exhausted all the time, life's easier, a whole lot easier.
Definitely. So, not only work, but your enjoyment of life. Mm-hmm. So your social time too, I bet, improved as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're able to enjoy your time with your kids and wife, and be present in the moment instead of just trying to get through those moments without either falling asleep or just being cranky, that kind of stuff. So.
Right. Well, I want to get into your decision-making process in a second, but first, Amy, tell me, what was it like when he told you that he thought he might need to go in and get tested or get treatment?
So he had been talking about it for a while, and I wasn't quite sure how long this discussion was going to, and how long he was going to continue to contemplate it. So when he did, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to take. And I just wanted to watch the journey. I was curious if this was going to make a difference, if this was what he thought it was going to be. And I'd say within about 4 to 6 months, I started to see that difference too. So I noticed his energy, but it was more than just energy, how do I explain it? It was more than just bursts of energy. It was maintained energy.
Like vitality.
Yeah.
Like it's like he was fully charged kind of thing.
And it was for a longer duration. But it was also like a happy energy. So sometimes laughing and nobody else was laughing. He was cracking himself up and just enjoying life in general. And definitely saw that the sleep quality had improved also. So with him being on call and needing to sleep not on a schedule, when he does get sleep, it's critical. So watching that sleep quality improve, I noticed was another addition to the energy levels and focus and on all of that during the day. So
interesting.
Those two things I'd say I noticed straight away.
So it was almost a charge or a vitality. It wasn't just that he reached his baseline again. It was that not only did he get back to how you're supposed to be as a man in your 40s or however, even if you are tired and working a long job, but then you also had a little bit of an oomph, like a charge almost.
Yeah, when I'm on the testosterone and the peptides both, I feel better now than I did in my 20s.
Really? Now, what does that feel like? If you feel better than you did in your 20s, is it just this? Some people describe it as a motivation. Like I don't. I'm not stuck to the couch. I'm not stuck to the chair. I have this get up and go.
Yeah, you have energy and drive, and on top of wanting to do all the things that are on your list, when you do them, you don't hurt for the next 2 days afterwards. So
really?
The peptides are great for that. Your recovery. If I can go in the gym and you have your normal soreness, but you're ready to go back the next day.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you working out prior to testosterone?
No energy. I had enough energy to do my job, and then I'd come home and rest. So
how does that feel?
Feels great, knowing now that I can do that again.
Right.
So.
And be able to be, your kids are more grown, but be able to have that traveling and have that active life and not feel like you're just struggling.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go back and tell your doctor one thing, what would you say?
I mean, I'd like for them to be able to see how much it's benefited me, but
and how much your life has improved.
And I don't fault them because they're doing what they're taught. I had a good doctor. She took really good care of our family, but that's not what they push when they're your primary care.
Right.
It's not their wheelhouse.
Correct. There's so much medicine that they can learn about. I mean, they talk about it with women's health, that you have to go to a specialist for a woman's health. You have to go to an OB or someone else. But with men's health, it's even more. We had a doctor on the show talking about if you went to the bathroom in school, you'd miss everything they taught you about men's health. Mm-hmm. Like it was that short that they just don't specialize. They leave it to the urology and everyone else, and they aren't fully aware either. So
yeah,
going to somebody with peptide experience and testosterone experience, among other things. Mm-hmm. So now tell me how your decision making went. So you had symptoms for 3 years where you felt tired and work was harder, your schedule was harder, but you were seeing some of your coworkers that were actually also on testosterone. Mm-hmm. Do they talk about it? Is that something that you guys would share? Like, how does that conversation go?
Most of us that are on the therapy, we're an open book. Because, we've got all of our coworkers, they're all brothers. So we want to see them benefit. We want to see them feel better. And, we don't all go to the same places. We don't all take the same things. And it's, so we get together and talk about how great it is. And then there's always the other guys in the crew room that aren't on it yet, but we're trying to recruit them. So,
so it's almost like a club.
Yeah, exactly. And, everybody swaps notes with each other and it's we just want to see everybody else feel as good as we do. And that was a thing that got to me. I worked a couple of days with the same guy and, I hadn't worked with him in a while and he got huge. He just went in the gym, put a bunch of size on. It was feeling good. And 2 days of him telling me that I need to go into the clinic was what it took to finally push me there. So.
Wow. Well, thank him. What's his name?
He probably doesn't want me saying.
Okay. Well, we'll thank him for getting you help.
We'll protect his identity.
We'll protect his identity. We'll protect it's like Fight Club.
Yeah. Nobody talks about it.
That's surprising to me because you always hear that women, we trade secrets and, I found this or this deal or this sale or this new treatment, this new either medical or aesthetic treatment that we're always sharing that. I hadn't realized that guys did that, but being on this side of it, being the marketing person, I do know that our limitless male patients, once they start to feel better, you almost can't shut them up about it. Mm-hmm. And I really wonder if it's from a perspective of it's so nebulous before you get treatment. And it's hard to describe. It's hard to come up with a solution. But then once you've gone through it and you see that it's fixable, it almost becomes black and white. It's almost why don't you go do this? This will make you feel better. It
becomes a very normalized conversation for them.
Correct. Why do you think that is? Is it because it's taking something that's so big and not talked about, and finally they get a solution, they get a fix?
I think it's, should I say, fear of the unknown. They don't know what they're going to expect when they come into any of those clinics. They don't know what to expect with the treatment. And as they go through the process and they learn more about it, and then they experience it, and then they get the verbiage behind it, and they're having those conversations with their provider and the clinical staff and whoever else is there, and then they're going in on repeat visits, it becomes a normal conversation for them, so that when they step out into social environments, they're like, hey, I can have this conversation. I feel comfortable talking about this, and I feel good with where I'm at. So I think there's a little bit of a change that happens, maybe.
100% agree. I think what you said there is normalizing the conversation. I think that's the biggest thing, is that the more routine we can make this conversation, just around men's health in general, not necessarily low testosterone or weight loss or peptides or aging or anything like that, but the more normal we can make it. And I liken it back to a vehicle and vehicle maintenance, because you don't fault a car for having to get new brakes. You don't fault a car for having to get their oil changed. It's just the nature. Like you said, your doctor said, you're a man in your 40s. This is what's going to happen. That is the case, but it's not something that you have to live with. There's things. And I think within the last 5 years, women have started to have that conversation more normalized for us. I mean, they've made fun of hot flashes and menopause and TV shows and movies for decades, but it was always something, oh, well, she's just going through her phase. You can't do anything about it. That's just what it is, you know, not knowing that there's a whole side of medicine that can help improve that for you. And it's the same thing with men. They're just a little bit more delayed behind it. So you've really dove in and learned more about what Jeremiah is going through. What would you tell other wives and somebody who's maybe facing this with their husband or boyfriend or partner?
Go with them, dive into the research. I still think that there's a lot of significant others out there that also have fear of the unknown. They hear the myths that aren't necessarily true. So go in with them, find out the truths, and then support their journey. So celebrate all the wins, because it's going to have a ripple effect in everybody's life. Your life will improve. If you have children, their work life improves. So enjoy the process with them, but get to know what's happening. And what's interesting is you might actually discover that it's something you need for yourself too.
Really? Tell me, how would that
So it was interesting. He started his journey before my hormone replacement, and he kept telling me, Amy, you should do the same. You should experience the same. So then 2 years it took him. I can't believe I waited. And then I finally went in, and it's been fantastic. I also have sustained energy, and that was the biggest thing for me. I was telling somebody earlier, like, I can get through a whole weekend, and I realized I made it from morning to evening and didn't have to stop. I didn't have to take a break. So doing that journey together and supporting each other and making sure we're on top of when we're taking our stuff. And he makes it a habit every night to make sure that I've taken my dissolvable medication. It's like part of his night routine. He'll bring it to me. I'm washing my face. He brings me it's just become that routine. So
that is awesome that you guys support each other that way and make it routine. I think something you said earlier too is that people don't talk about it because it's kind of scary. They don't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. So now you guys have both gone through it. Mm-hmm. Is it scary?
There's just a lot of myths out there about it, you know.
Like what?
And are you going to the testosterone clinic, or is it the ED clinic? A lot of guys are nervous about walking in there because, they don't want people to judge them. And, I can't speak to the ED products because I haven't used any of them, but, guys are worried that as soon as they go walking through the door, people are going to automatically think that they've got trouble in that area. And, guys don't want to have to feel that way. So...
even though that's another symptom, even though that's also normal, even though that's also treatable. Yeah. And sex is part of your health. generally. I mean, that furthers the human race too. So,
but that's one thing that would make a guy hesitate to want to go in there. And, but the guys that do go in and get the treatment, that gives them back a part of their life that they've lost for maybe years. And, that's a tough thing to lose. So,
well, it's also probably something that they've tried to swallow that they're never going to get back.
Yeah.
So that energy that you were missing and your doctor telling you you're 40, you're just getting older, you have to swallow that at that moment.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it. This is the best I'm going to feel.
Yep. It doesn't get any better.
And then to find out that that's a lie.
Yeah.
That you can feel better with a pretty simple treatment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's got to give you almost a new, lease on life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So is there anything that you've now done in the last 3 years that you didn't think you were going to be able to do when you were contemplating treatment?
Steadily going to the gym was a big part of it. In the last 3 years, I've put on 30 pounds, and I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. So
that's fantastic.
I always hung right around 165, and if I hit 175, I was overweight and soft. And now I sit at 195 to 205, and I've never been this heavy before, but I'm in good shape. I feel good. I'm more active than I was in my 30s. My 30s were horrible. So
was that when you started working the long hours and started on call?
Did, yeah, I did, but I also had some health problems in my 30s, which kind of slowed me down too.
Right.
So got through all those finally, but then ran right into my 40s. So
like a brick wall.
Yeah, just about the time that I was starting to get my stride again, my time was up. So
I can't imagine. And not only are you at the gym again the last 3 years and in the best shape of your life, but it's not like your life has changed. It hasn't gotten easier. You still have a family. You still have the demanding job. You still have the responsibilities. You've just made more time for yourself.
Correct.
Which is great. By getting energy and not having to take a nap, or like you said, not having to rest, going morning to night all day.
I remember he would take his clinic days. He said it was his me time. Sometimes he'd even, I was like, I haven't ever heard a guy say this is my me time. I loved it. That's I'm like,
awesome.
Let's keep saying that, because you guys need to have that.
Absolutely.
So sometimes he'd incorporate those days he'd go to the barber afterwards, and that was his day because it was his clinic day, and he got to see his favorite staff, and he enjoyed those days. Still does.
That's awesome. What is it like going into the clinic? Is it still me time? Is it still?
It's a little more routine now, just because I've been doing it for so long, and I drop in on all of the clinics. I'll hit Omaha. I was at Omaha last week. I was at Papillion 2 days ago. I work in Iowa, so I drop in at Council Bluffs sometimes, and I know most of the staff, so
that's fantastic.
I just drop in. They don't know I'm coming, and get to say hi to everybody.
Very cool. As you were saying, it was me time. It reminded me of like gym tan laundry. It's like a Jersey Shore kind of a routine. It's your checkup. It's your me time, your spa day that day. Interesting. What's one thing that you would tell, and I'm going to ask this question to each of you, is what's one thing that you would tell another married couple or another man that's going through this? Like if you were going to tell another another coworker, for example, that's dealing with this, what do you guys in the club now say? Just go get it taken care of. Check it out.
Go get your labs run, and if you're not happy with your numbers, go in and they can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and definitely, as far as from a couple's perspective, Amy getting on her therapy made just as much of a difference. So
that's okay. So let me back up to that. Getting her to get on therapy, it sounded like it was black and white for you, and you were nagging her for 2 years. Why?
Well, the full truth is I'm not great at blood draws, and I was really putting it off. So really it was my own headspace, and I've gotten over that now.
Were you worried about treatment yourself, or?
It wasn't Actually, no, I was not allowing myself the time to I wasn't allowing myself my own me time, basically.
I want to dive into that because that's excellent as far as I'm sure you put everybody else first and then yourself last. Is that a little bit of what you did too, Jeremiah?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for men to take care of themselves when there's still other needs in the house. So, because you're supposed to be the last line of defense. So everything else gets taken care of. And then if there's any energy left, then you do what you need to for yourself. And a lot of times that gets neglected. So.
And then do you find once you get treatment that actually, and they always say this, you actually need to take care of yourself first so that you can be that last line of defense for your entire family?
Yep. And that's how I'd live my life now. So they can wait until I'm good. And then if I have any energy left, then I'll take care of them.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I've earned it. So.
You have earned it. I'm not discounting that at all. Absolutely. But I'm pretty sure that you would still move mountains for your family too. But it's just important that you have the energy to be able to do that.
That's right.
What would you tell another guy that's thinking about this or struggling with not having energy, not having the vitality to live his life?
Oh, I would say the investment in yourself is worth it. You won't question that time or the me time or the investment that you put in yourself 2 to 3 months down the road. You will be feeling the benefits of it, and so will those around you. It's totally worth it. Yeah. So yes, in the back of your mind, you might be putting everybody else, their needs, their time, their energy, their costs, whatever that might look like, ahead of your own. But everybody has to invest in themselves at some point too, for the longevity, for your overall health. And I'd say put it sooner than later, because it could be preventable medicine. You could be preventing other illnesses down the road. You're giving yourself some longevity here, as well as just overall well-being.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that for sure, especially because it's not always just testosterone. Like you said, peptides. Being able to get on some peptide therapy or GLP-1 therapy to lose weight or prevent migraines, for example, is something that I know I've used. And the ED, even so, if you are experiencing anything and you're young, the sooner you get in, there's preventative and curative treatment. I think that's the biggest conversation is the faster we can normalize these conversations and the discussion around men's health, the less years you have to spend feeling like crap.
Yeah.
And putting yourself last at the sacrifice of, what you and your family like to do.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I think we've dived right in. Thank you for sharing your journey. And I'm really happy that you guys are feeling well. And I'm glad you nagged her to get treatment.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
The roles were reversed a little bit. I'm glad you guys are both feeling better.
Now I'm still working on her, getting her started on the peptides. She hasn't crossed that bridge yet. So.
Yep.
Well, that's a daily injection, so I can kind of understand. It can be a little bit intimidating for somebody who doesn't like blood draws, but
5 shots a day is it's a little bit of an inconvenience sometimes. But
5 shots a day, 5 shots a week.
5 shots a week, yes.
It's like, what are you?
I was like, oh, what is
they got me on the fast track. Yeah. No,
5 shots a week. Yeah.
5 shots a week can be a little inconvenient.
Even though it's a little tiny needle. I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, when I'm traveling, dealing with needles and all, it's and refrigeration, it's an inconvenience, but it's totally worth it. And I would say that the peptides are just as important, if not more important, than the testosterone therapy, because I feel it's a whole nother tier when you get on the peptides. So,
well, it's a whole new area of medicine, which is funny because insulin is actually one of the oldest peptides that was discovered. So it's been around forever, but they're just now diving into it and finding, some of the human growth hormone peptides that, like you said, sleep, workout, recovery, circulation, blood flow, all of it. It's just cellular regeneration, and it's helping your body heal itself.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed with the peptides is all my aches and pains went away. Arthritis went away. All of the stuff that I just thought was mine forever was just gone. And it wasn't like I noticed it all at once. It was, a couple months later, all of a sudden, nothing hurts. So
almost like a time machine.
Exactly. So, yeah, that was, I love the peptides.
Maybe I'll be trying those out, because there's some mornings I wake up and I'm going, what did I do? And did I sneeze wrong? Did I sleep wrong? And you can't, turn your head for a day. So.
Yeah, old broken bones and, past injuries that are just, they're with you all the time. It's like they never happened. So, at least in my case, I don't know. Maybe I'm the lucky one. But.
You're not. I've heard a ton of success stories with peptides. So I think that area of medicine is just going to continue to grow and get bigger and better. If the GLP-1s are any indication as well. We understand just a fraction of what we should in inflammation and blood sugar and insulin in your gut biome. So it's just going to keep getting better and better, I think. They're studying for Alzheimer's and dementia and migraines and addictions, and it's recovery and everything else. So
it's fascinating.
Very fascinating.
Yeah, the GLP-1s helped her with her migraines.
So. She's actually the one that got me started on that too, as far as her and Andrea telling me about that. And I was 18 migraines a month, and I was trying to get insurance to cover Botox, and I had a list of preventative medications, 2 pages long, that I had tried, and I've had 2 in the last 2.5 years.
Wow.
That have been major that I've had to, do anything with. So, yeah, I'm a lifer now. You can't. Yeah, I'm a lifer. When you're having something like that, that's debilitating, it shut your life down.
Yeah.
When you get a migraine. So, I'm just excited to see. Not to mention losing 75 pounds is pretty great too.
That feels good too. Yeah.
That feels really good. No, having something like that's chronic. Definitely. Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
So are you ready to feel better, age better? Find out exactly what stage you're at with the free download in our show notes.